What's up? This is Quan Yi. I got a quick story that I want to share with you. And I just want to be upfront with you. This is going to be a series or more multiple parts because it's a long story because it went on for a few years. So I do want to say trigger warning. This is for educational purposes only and entertainment. Okay. Now, this is a story about how I got into a serious relationship and fell in lust with a fentanyl addict. All right, so back in around 2018, 2019, I was um, I was living in Chicago at the time, south side of Chicago, and I was single, freshly out of a abusive relationship with somebody on the west side of Chicago, and that relationship had ended like 2 months prior. But anyway, I went on POF. Okay. Now, when I had first went on POF, this guy he messaged me a few times, and I really didn't pay no attention to it. Then one day, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna respond to his message or whatever. Now, the reason why I didn't really respond to it is because he just I don't know. He didn't look all that good to me from his pictures. I couldn't tell. But I just, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get rid of some of all these damn boundaries that I have. I got all these boxes I want to check with people that I'm meeting online. I'm just gonna let it go. Light skinned brother from his dad was Cuban and black, and his mom was Italian. All right, with that being said, we started talking or whatever, and he told me that he was a truck driver. His POF pictures was with him sitting inside either a car or a truck. I found out later it was inside of a truck that he was actually sleeping in. But I'll tell you about that later. Anyway, make a long story short, we met up. He was cool. He was actually nice, built, clean, um, respectable, manners, all of that. Like, he was a cool dude. Like, you could not visibly look at him and say, this guy is on or has an addiction, okay? He didn't lie about being a truck driver, owner operator. He wasn't lying about none of that. So there was no reason for me to think that, something was wrong. So one night, me and him, we went out. This is after us seeing each other a couple times. We actually went out and he invited me back to his crib. So I go to his crib with him. And now this is the first time, we gonna fool around. We gonna finally see, what it's feeling like. So he pulled his pants down, and I seen these scratch marks on his thigh. But listen, if you're from the Midwest, drugs is heavy out there, especially people, shooting up drugs and all kind of stuff. So it freaked me out. But come to find out, he was getting testosterone shots too. Took care of himself. He just had an addiction. But anyway, that had made me feel like he was doing something. I didn't know that he was getting shots there, right? So anyway, that same night, he kept going to the bathroom. And he would be in the bathroom for a very fucking long time. I'm talking about forever. And then the water would be running, like the sink water would be running. And I ain't stupid. I knew something was happening, but I didn't know. And this was my first time with him at his crib, okay? Now, when he came out, he was it wasn't sleepy. I know for a fact it wasn't sleepy. It was a drastic change in his behavior. He was nodding off, but he was trying his hardest to keep his eyes open. So I was like, what's wrong with you? I'm thinking, he done took some pills or something. Because I definitely wasn't thinking he was shooting up nothing. He had no track marks or nothing on him other than the ones that I seen on his thigh. But it was one on his thigh. But that's not what it was. But anyway, make a long story short, I let that shit go. And I'll be back with part 2.